Hey, you're back at the garage with TheEZGZ. And that is a sight for sore eyes, let me tell you. I accomplished one thing so far, and that's made enough space to get two vehicles in the garage. Let me get set up and get the Baja out of the way, and we'll get started on this framework and transmission testing, etc., etc. Hey, you're back in the garage with TheEZGZ. This has been a couple of days since I started this whole project. Things don't always go as you planned, as you all know, and we're going old school, because that's what I know, because I am old school. My goodness, I've just, the first thing you gotta do when you're building yourself a car, a dune buggy, Volkswagen style, old school, is you gotta have yourself a torsion housing. I have spent probably a day, off and on as I get time, cleaning all the little tar and cutting off the excess frame horns and the little battery shelf that was in here. This torsion assembly was attached to a pan, and it was in a fiberglass Manx style. Everybody knows what you're talking about when you say Manx. Little dune buggy. I'm not a Volkswagen guy. I didn't start out as a Volkswagen guy. The good Lord threw this on me. Yeah, he just squatted down and said, "You're gonna have Volkswagens." I'd like to think I did. I was a hot rodder. I was like a Ford Model A. That's what I wanted, a Ford Model A, a 1930 Model A pickup. I have things here. I want to use material that I have on hand. I want to clean up, get organized. We're heading down the home stretch. I got to get rid of some of this junk. Nobody's interested in it, and I've paid too much money in storage fees and just having it. But it can be done. And I've gotten so much positive encouragement from you guys. So, here we go. Old school, baby. These things aren't just for cutting steel. You can weld with it. I've noticed this frame horn assembly, torsion bar, I believe is a 1970. That's what the car was titled at, that I got it from, and it's an IRS, so that sounds pretty good. I just got back from Harbor Freight, bought some TIG rod, 1/8 inch TIG rod. Back in the day, we performed miracles with coat hangers. Yeah, coat hangers used to be made out of metal. You go to the dry cleaner, then they had metal coat hangers. They had some kind of coating on them, so your clothes didn't get stained or rusty, but I tried the new coat hangers. They don't work very good. They don't work very good. Crap. So anyhow, some of the metal that I cut off the forward end here that was still hanging on, I used a Sawzall, I've used flappers and cut off wheels. I got some of that stuff, and like I said, I have built some of these from scratch in the past, and it's a lot of work. Believe me, you're better off buying something like this, but I'll make a separate video on the pros and cons of why, if you have this, would you want to go through this. So we touched on that a little bit. I may have to put some bandages on here, weld them on top. I might. I haven't decided yet. Kind of like seeing how it feels. People should give more credit to intuition and feelings your feelings. You know when you're doing something right. You don't have to teach a child right from wrong. They know. You know, if they're crying, they're either got hurt or they got their feelings hurt. It's an emotional type of thing. And people should learn to trust your intuition and your feelings, and be willing to make mistakes and be willing to learn. And yeah, I think that's part of it all. So there are some big holes here in the frame horn where some control tubes came through. You had your gas line that came down inside the tunnel. You had your heater cables that went through here. You had, what else? What was over here on both sides? You got holes in these horns. I don't want these horns filling up with sand and moisture. And when I get done with it, it's probably going to spend a lot of its life outside just sitting in the weather. So I want to fill all this stuff up. And like I said, with the wire feed, I don't have one of the fancy ones, but I do have this old stuff, and we're going to give it a shot. Like I said, I did not even try. I had some welding rod, but I went like, I thought Harbor Freight would be the cheapest, and they're not too far from me, and they don't have like mild steel welding rod. They had this 1/8 inch TIG rod, and it's supposed to have some properties to it to help it work better. So we're gonna test that out under the gun, because I got things to do the rest of the day, and I'm kind of wanting to try this. So let me move you up a little bit closer. Hopefully I won't catch you on fire. If I got a fire extinguisher in here, wear your safety stuff. Be smart about all of this. Okay. Here we go. Talk about unplanned winging it, man. This could be the biggest joke catastrophe. I only got one eye that works half good, and the other one's just a total loss. And you know, with the wire feed, man, this garage filled up with smoke on that flux core, and you know, I was hacking and coughing. I wonder what the deal is with argon poisoning. I had a TIG welder, a scratch TIG, an old one some guy sold me, and I did it in a closed garage in the wintertime on a car a lot, and yeah, acetylene and oxygen. So I'm going to get me a nice point here, grab my, and this is where the fuel line went through. So let's see if I can, you know, the most important thing about any kind of welding that you're going to do is to get comfortable. I got a nice flame resistant table here. I got a chair. I can't see very good, but this is starting to get red. And it's all about not shaking. If you have 5 cups of coffee or a pot of coffee in the morning, it may not go that good. I remember in school, as a kid, all we did was weld a couple of plates together, and we just puddled it, and you push that puddle. Later on, I found out you can go, and so you can pull off whenever you want. If it's getting too hot, and you think you're going to melt through, make a hole, back away. That's the beauty of this. Yes, it's probably more expensive. All this wire feed and all this MIG welding fancy stuff, it's speed, man, it's production. You can weld uphill, you can weld overhead. Okay, too close. Now it goes without saying, this is a recreation buggy for personal use. Don't need to. Something got right there on the tip. These bifocals are killing me. You can get pops. Back away. It has been decades since I've tried to do this. And you can control your heat. It's just like on a wire feed. You can control your amperage. But once you get your, you want your, there you go. I'm having to hold my head so that I'm not looking through my progressive bifocals, because that's screwing with me, something fierce. Alright, so we got that hole kind of covered. Well, I will say it works a lot better than plastic, and you know, okay, so I don't know if you remember how big that hole was. It was pretty doggone big, and I see some porosity there. That ain't perfect. I don't care. At any rate, it's not the finished product, but I have a dinner date, and I just thought I'd show you guys what I'm working on and try to get better about that. Thanks so much for all the support you've given me. So there's that. Remember that big hole? Yep. That's some of the things that I would like to teach my grandkids, and it's kind of motivated me here lately, because one of my 11 grandchildren, 4 of which are great-grandchildren, they're too young, but I've got one grandson who's about 6 years old, going to be coming out here for Christmas. His grandma's kind of sick, and they want to see her. And I want to bring him out in this garage and show him the dune buggy under construction and the one that's finished, and hopefully they'll be here for like a week maybe, and hopefully I'll get them around the block. And I want to plant that seed, and I want them to see these tools, and I want them to see me doing some things. Head out and have some fun. But wait! There's more! I need a burrito. That's what I need.